Welcome to Two Queens and a Joker, my narcissist ex and me. I am Brenda, and Sarah's finally back.
Yay!
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Sarah. I've been out for a little bit, sickness, but I'm back.
Yes, thank
Here to
God.
share and have fun again.
Yes, indeed. I'm so glad you're back. I've missed you so much.
Oh, I missed you guys too.
It's just not the same. I mean, I've been recording by myself and I have a lot to say. I keep surprising myself with how long those recordings keep being. And I'm like, each time I've done it, I've been like, "Ugh, I'm just going to do this because I feel like we just need to keep putting stuff out there." Also, I think it's important, like some of the stuff that's been coming up usually comes up because of what clients are talking about, and I think, oh, I hear a lot of people talking about this. But all in all, it's like I'm just talking and this is interesting. And I just want Sarah to be here. So I'm glad you're back.
To be here.
No, I know. Oh, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I know you've not
Okay, yeah,
been
no.
feeling well. Yeah. But here we are. Here we are.
Yay.
Yes. So we thought we would talk about uh, a lot of people worry about whether or not they're the problem, certainly worry about whether or not they themselves are a narcissist. Most of all, or at least as important, worrying or wondering if what they're experiencing is really abuse. And I know I've heard Sarah talk about this in her own experience before. I think I was in denial about it for a long time, or at least thinking it's not that bad. He's really nice when he's nice, although that didn't always last. But I think people really have a hard time calling it what it is. And even, sorry, I'm going to shut up in a second, but even clients that come in for individual therapy with me, or even in the groups, sometimes the support groups have a hard time identifying it as abuse.
I, I think that's one of the reasons it makes it so hard for us to realize it's not us because we tend to look inward and think, okay, well, sure, maybe I didn't have to react to his negative, nasty comment and be like he was attacking me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe, okay, me being upset and crying didn't have to happen.
Yes. I mean, that's pretty common.
Yeah. I mean, all the time. I remember that all the time, like, and over stupid shit. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a big thing or anything like that. And then just, oh, you're stupid. Well, I'm not stupid. And then the more negative would come out of his mouth. And then I go and cry because you don't expect the person that you are supposed to be in love with, that you trust, that you've had children with, that's supposedly your everything to treat you like that, to put you down like that, to name call. And then you have an emotional reaction, most of the time crying. I can't say all the time. Sometimes, yes, I would be upset and it would come across, absolutely. But my thing was I would be upset mostly and crying. Later on, as I started to recognize, I would be able to speak up for myself more,
Mm.
but definitely would still be blaming myself. Like, okay, maybe I could have done this, or maybe I shouldn't have brought up this subject, which if you're in a relationship, why wouldn't you be able to bring up any subject?
Just as an adult talking to another adult, why can't you talk about things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's that whole I shouldn't have. It's remarkable how quickly that starts happening in the relationship with a narcissistic person. Where you're doubting yourself and I think we come into it. So, let me just say, I think it's natural for us on some level to start doubting ourselves because that's our frame of reference is us. And this behavior typically is out of the blue, especially in the beginning when they've tried to, keep a lid on it and tried to hide it, I guess, to some degree. And then, of course, the gaslighting. So they are telling you you're the problem. Not a lot of us don't have a lot of self esteem when we're in these relationships or when we even start with them. Same. Yes. Still working on that.
Yes, definitely. Definitely working on that.
But there's lots stacked against us, I think, and I think there's probably like a lot of resistance to calling it abuse too, because then that if you label it, you probably have to do something about it, right? So maybe there's reluctance there.
Like with the physical, oh, he didn't really mean it.
Mm.
Did it really hurt me that bad?
Mm.
I've recovered. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Nobody knows was a big one for me.
Well, nobody knows, and I don't want anybody to know. I don't wanna be seen as a weak person.
Yes. Well, that's a big one.
Yeah. Plus, I think women in general feel it's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing to not have that kind of control in your life, and you don't
Yeah.
want to admit it. Very
Ab
scary.
It is. It for the physical and the emotional or mental abuse. It's all we don't wanna tell anybody this is what's going on at home. Yeah. It's there was he was really abusive to me too, physically. I mean, he obviously mentally and all of that stuff, but he was very physically abusive, for quite a while I was pregnant. And there was one time I was sitting in the car and he was gonna take my car. It was my car, not his, and he did not have a car of his own, and he was driving, and I had gone to get I think we had gone to the grocery store to get milk or something, and I was about to go in the house, and he's saying he's gonna take off, and I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not taking my car." And he's, like, tried to stop me, that kind of bullshit, and I said, "Look, I'm telling you right now, you do not have permission to take my car," because I was gonna go call the police. And he whacked me across the face so hard, it broke my teeth. So, it broke 2 teeth in the back of my mouth, and, I mean, they didn't fall out, but it cracked them.
Mhm.
And later on, I went to the dentist, it was probably about a year later, I was having some dental work, and I just left him that way. I mean, we were poor, and I couldn't go to the dentist, but when I could go to the dentist took the X-ray and asked me what happened, and, that was the first time out of all of the stuff that happened, that was the first time I told somebody that I had been abused by him, that he hit me and cracked my teeth. Happened that day, like, it
Doesn't have to anything.
yeah, yeah. I don't saying it out loud, I mean, that felt scary to say that to the dentist, and I did feel shame now that I'm thinking back to that moment, like, "Oh, should I have said that?" But that he asked me what happened, and I just told him what happened. But looking back, I think it sort of opened a door for me to start seeing things a little more realistically.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I had
when you tell somebody.
one friend, well, I won't name her out,
Yeah.
but, and it took me a long time, but, like, she would ask me. She knew stuff was going on, and I she can just tell,
Mm,
and finally, like, one day I just broke down at work, just broke down, and
mm,
she knew something was going on. She's like like, my arm, I came in one day, and literally there's a handprint on my arm here, and then 4, like, fingerprints here, and I'm, like, trying to cover it, like, with the turtleneck, you know?
yeah.
And she's like, "I'm so glad you finally were able to come and talk to me." She's like, "I've been trying to talk to you for so long." Excuse me. So, once I was able to confide in her, I think I started, "Okay, I have a person I can talk to you. She's not gonna tell anybody, we're gonna be able to talk." So, that made it a lot easier. I didn't get out.
But
Being able to talk to somebody and find out that what I'm going through is not a normal relationship. That's
yes,
not healthy. And I would tell her all the time, "Well, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I shouldn't be so emotional when he calls me stupid or dumb or emotional. Maybe
oh my gosh.
that's not a normal relationship. Your relationship is based on trust and understanding and love and compassion.
Yes,
That's not happening."
not even close.
Yeah, it took me a long time, and I'm glad that we became so close, and I'm so mad that she moved.
I was gonna ask you, do you still work with her?
No. Very upset. Yeah. We still well, like, every once in a while hit each other up on I don't even know what it's one of the Facebook thingies, but
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
But I'm always like, "Please move back," you know?
That's really sweet, though. I mean, she was waiting for you to be ready to talk about it, and she was there when you were ready. Saying that stuff out loud for the first time, I think is really powerful.
I thought I was going to have, like, a heart it felt like a heart attack, like, what I would imagine a heart attack would feel. Like, it's like, just crying, pouring sweat, my heart thumping, my ears hurt so
Oh,
bad, and then just trying to get it out, and I'm sure it was not a lovely picture going on at all. We just sat, and she closed one of our doors in our apartment, and she just sat with me in until I was like "Okay, I'm gonna go wash my face, and I'm gonna put my big girl panties on, and I'm gonna get to work." So, but I hope that if somebody is stuck in that kind of situation like we were, that they can find that one person.
Yes.
Or, like, listening to our podcast, writing an email to us, responding, commenting on the TikToks or Instagram, any of that stuff, so they can feel like they can get it out to somebody.
Yes.
Because the weight is it's so heavy, and I'm not even kidding, the weight that it took off me for the one person was amazing. It was, um
Yeah, the power of community is nothing to sneeze at, and a community can consist of 2 people having a talk like that, right? And this community, hopefully, that we are building to give women or a voice, a place to listen and relate, if nothing else, but yeah, DM us. I check the social medias all the time, all the time, every day. If support's needed, we're here.
absolutely.
Sarah's got 25 years under her belt with this piece of shit of a human being.
Still
I'm a
through.
well, that too. Yeah, still dealing with, yeah, post kind of divorcey stuff. Yeah.
Fun.
No.
It's
No.
definitely getting better, learning to handle it better, learning coping mechanisms better. Thank you very much, Miss Brenda.
My pleasure. Yeah. Well, right, and that's abundantly available too, right? I mean, just learning how to, calm your nervous system. There's so much on social media, well, social media too, but, like YouTube videos on vagus nerve stimulation and things like that, that can be incredibly healing and powerful. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and there's stuff out there to help. Also, I think the language is really incredibly important, and that's kind of, I guess, the whole point of all of this, but calling it what it is and not softening it when we probably shouldn't, calling abuse abuse. My support group is survivors of narcissistic abuse, and I don't think people really like the name, we shorten it to SONA, but I've had people talk to me about that, like with the support group or in individual therapy about, well, I don't really wanna call myself a victim, or I don't know if it was abuse, but if you're not calling it what it is, you're not gonna be able to face it for what it is, right? And then that just stays in a really horrible, vicious cycle. Yeah.
You're never gonna get that weight lifted. If you
Mhm.
recognize this is abuse, okay, yeah, you're basically giving that narcissist, male or female, a way out still.
Yeah.
You're still telling them it is okay.
Yes, that's a very good point. Yeah. They take it as permission. Yeah. Well, I got away with it this time, so I can do it again. And no, of course, they don't say that to themselves, but the message is there in their heads.
I'm sure they go in their little, "Look, check. I got away with this one. I'm gonna get away with it again.
Yeah.
Check. I was right."
Yeah,
I'm sure.
probably, yeah, right? The whole narcissistic behavior just increases and gets more honed over time, right? Because of exactly that. I don't know. The reason I clarified that is because I think I get the question so often, like, do they know what they're doing? And fuck yes. Yes, they do.
Anybody who is out there questioning it, there's no other way to answer that question other than, "Fuck, yes, they do."
Yes,
100%.
they really do.
Anybody
Yeah.
that tells you they don't know is a fucking liar. Excuse my language, but
No, I like it. I think it needs that sort of emphasis, but it's true. And I honestly hear that question so often. No, I really do. That it's come up twice today in therapy sessions, but yes, they do. And knowing that they had a bad background or bad childhood and all of that stuff does not excuse it, because you may have too. I may have too, and we've chosen not to go around well, not even chosen. It's not our choice to go around and abuse people.
your choice should be, "Well, then I'm gonna be a better person.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna hurt somebody else. I'm not gonna downgrade somebody else. I'm not gonna lower somebody's opinion of themselves to make me feel better."
Yeah,
That's evil.
it
That's the
is evil.
definition of evil.
And it's intentional every step of the way. and they just get better at it the older they get. Yeah.
The gaslighting gets better, the manipulation gets better, the lying gets so much better, so believable that oh my god.
Somebody said this to me, I can't remember, and but just said it to me yesterday or the day before that she used the narcissism to her advantage, and I was like, "Oh, I used to do that all the time." Not to make light of it, when he would need, like, if we'd be talking about something and I didn't want to talk about it or I wanted him to be distracted, I think this is almost the exact same example she gave, but I could relate. And I know I did the same thing to the Joker, but to distract him, to get him talking about himself in some way or about something that he's interested in. I used to do that to him, just like get him off my case about something or whatever it was, or even just if I was annoyed with it, because most of the time, I think after the initial attraction wore off and I started to see who he was, I was mostly annoyed with him and just wanted to be away from him. And him going out was like such a gift. I'm like, how long is he going to be gone? Right? Please go. Go hang out with your friends. Go. I don't care what you're doing. Just get out. But yeah, I mean, I think it to distract him on some topic that I know he'd go off on, and then I could just zone out in my head or whatever and not have to talk to him about something I didn't want to talk to him about was super easy to do.
I wish I would have known.
Well, hopefully somebody can, benefit from this. It's so easy to do. I mean, they want to talk about themselves more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So,
really
they really do. When she said that, it just made me giggle because I thought, "Oh, I'd never heard anybody else say that, but I used to do that to him."
wish I had for myself
I wish you had too.
because that would have been so easy. I mean, you could flip almost every situation.
Mhm. You
Never
definitely could.
ever have to deal with physical, emotional, any kind of abuse because as soon "Oh, yeah, tell me about your drums again?"
Yeah,
"Mhm.
exactly.
Band?" Or "Tell me about your job," you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a point of no return, though, where I mean, I could have said anything at the points where he was starting to get violent and wouldn't have changed
Yeah, no,
anything.
no.
But
The
for the
the little ones, I could have been all, "Yeah, oh, what about the band?"
yeah, what's going on with that? Yeah.
That would have been damn, I'm stupid.
No, you are not
No,
stupid.
no, no, I don't mean I'm stupid, but I'm like, "Why couldn't you tell me this 15, 20 years ago?"
Yeah, I wish I could have. Yeah.
And I would guess that they're all like that 'cause the ego driven, that any kind of you are greater, you're better, you're the man,
Mhm.
would stop the negativity coming spewing out of his mouth, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an easy distraction to put in front of them to distract them with themselves.
I
Yeah.
think I until the ending, I think that because I would just turn inward, that's probably why I never thought of that. I mean, I felt like I would sink inside myself,
Hmm.
and then, "Okay, I'm gonna try to go to the room or try to go a different room," though most times that didn't work because 'cause you'd be followed or
Right.
but the times that, you were able to go in the bathroom and lock the door.
Yeah, the few times. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I will say though, I think when I did this with him, it was probably more when I was on the phone with him or, I couldn't get off the phone with him, saying something like, what about this? And having him at least go off on a tangent so I could get something done or, whatever it may be. Yeah. Yeah. But it's super easy. Yeah. I don't think he ever figured it out.
Probably not because he gets to talk about himself.
Perfect.
Even
Yeah.
if
He's
he
got the
figured it out, he'd still be like, "Okay, I'm talking about myself."
exactly spotlights on me.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I think the appropriate language honestly, I think the appropriate language is of utmost importance. I mean, I call it the narcissist lexicon just because I don't know what else to call it, but just all the kind of terms that are used in the narcissistic abuse community. And I feel like I'm adding to it fairly often. But oftentimes when I have a client first starting with me, when they're kind of figuring all this out, what they've experienced, I'll send that to them or send them to it just so they see that there's a whole language, there's a whole bunch of words anyway or terms to describe this abuse, which I think is super validating. And just using the right words is it's validating.
And
Yeah,
recognizing that no matter what, it is abuse.
it is abuse.
You gotta get to that point and realize,
Yeah.
uh, it doesn't make you admitting that what happened to you was abuse doesn't make you a bad person.
No,
Doesn't dim
no,
your light, doesn't take anything away from you, doesn't take your dignity, your self-worth, doesn't. It happens to a lot of people. Recognizing and letting it be known is like a bright light. It's a shining star.
it is.
Yeah.
And it's how, if your light does feel dim, it's how you brighten yourself back up too when you get out of this. Recognizing it and calling it what it is how you start to heal
Yes.
or empower yourself to leave if that's what you need to do.
You absolutely do.
So I love being here because I can say all the things that I'm reluctant to say in therapy sessions because I need to walk gently at the pace of the client, right? I can't
Absolutely.
have just whip off the cover and say this is what it is, but here I'm gonna let it out.
Let me tell you, folks.
Staying is not a good idea. It just is not. And I think a lot of people want to have the idea or the hope that they can stay and make it work somehow. No, no. My therapist lens or my therapist mask, I don't know what it is, but here I can say no. It doesn't get better. They get worse with age, more manipulative with age. It just doesn't get better. And they get way better at knowing how to push your buttons and control you over time too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Learning new tricks of the trade.
exactly. So get out if you can, get out. Or if
Yeah.
you can't,
I know there's, like, some people that really can't.
yeah,
Eh,
there are.
do whatever you can to protect yourself. That's
Exactly.
to do little things for yourself if, that they don't have to know about. Just do
Yeah.
exercises, your breathing. While you're at work, take, 10 minutes for you.
Yes.
Take a break and it be for you, not for him, not for her, for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. But that is the only way I think you can keep your sanity if you have to stay in these relationships.
Mhm.
But it's not going to get better.
We all hope and pray, because you don't wanna be like, "My marriage is over. Oh my
Of
god.
course not.
What have
Yeah.
I done?" Or, "This relationship that I've been in and what it is over. God, I don't want God, I feel like a failure. There's that failure thing again." And, but once you recognize that you are a better person, your life is better when you are not in that constant anxiety,
Gosh.
stress, and it's, like, heightened all that you are, like, firing all day. It's like there's
Yeah.
no stopping, there's no relaxing, there's no breathing. Once you get out and you're like, what was I doing? What was I"
Yeah.
you know? Tell 'em, do it for yourself.
Absolutely. Best thing you can do for yourself if you can. Not always possible, but if and when you can. Yeah.
It Hey, I'm proof. It took 20 plus years. It took 20 plus years for me. So, but I'm
Mhm.
now, so
Yeah. Yeah. Sarah 2.0.
I mean, and, like, I feel like if I could do it, anybody can do it. I, like, recognize, like, I wasn't ready all those years ago. I wasn't ready.
Mhm.
Recognize it. I didn't wanna admit the abuse. I just kept becoming inward of myself, accepting what he was saying about me until finally, well, my children pointed it out, you know, that no, no,
Yeah.
you know, having to be a mama bear and, when your kids are telling you things are going on that you don't know about, changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
Changes a lot of
Yeah.
things.
I'm glad you said that because I think this is another one of those questions that I hear all the time like, how do I tell my kids? What do I tell my kids? And I think to myself, your kids already know way more than you think, right? They're paying attention, they understand, they feel the tension, they know. Yeah. I'm glad your kids did that. That is a gift.
Really was. Best
Yeah.
best gift.
Yeah. In so many ways.
Yeah, we're so much happier. Not that every day is like sunshine and roses, you know, but I mean, we're able to communicate more. If there's a problem, we try to fix it with ourselves. We try to have calm, rational communication. I'm not always perfect at it.
Me neither.
I don't, I get hurt feelings when my children are upset with me.
Mhm.
I'm sure they get hurt feelings when I'm upset with them, but way that you're able to communicate and at least be able to say, "Hey, I understand you were upset earlier, but the way you were talking to me," and the other person going, "You know what? I shouldn't have taken that on you. I shouldn't have raised my voice. It's my bad." Or, "I'm sorry." Just that never happened.
Yes.
20 plus years, ever, never. And for us, and I feel like we so much and learned how to do that. And it doesn't happen all the time. We still have our love hate moments because we're a family. We live in
Yeah, we
close.
do too at my house.
Yeah. I mean, but the communication, being there for each other, being able to listen. I mean, you can still be upset that they're upset with you. Like it hurts your feelings. But once you guys are able to connect and talk about it, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know about you or any of our children, but I know for me, like, I feel so, like, fatalistic sometimes when I have these like, listen, I got in a really big argument yesterday, and to me, I'm like, "Oh, our relationship she's my daughter. Our relationship's never going to be over. I love her with my whole heart, but I do have those moments where I'm like, she's never gonna talk to me again. This is it. We're just" and I'm like, I mean, I know why I think that way. It's my upbringing and my fear and my insecurities and all of that stuff, right? But I think we need to remind ourselves that too. Like we can talk about anything. An argument does not have to mean the relationship has ended with your closest people, right?
Yes.
Especially.
It is
Yeah.
okay to be upset or have hurt feelings with an individual. It is
Hmm.
absolutely okay.
Yes.
But to be abusive and take it out on a person, that is not okay.
No. Or yeah. Right. And to be intentionally cruel because you can't handle how you're feeling on the inside and you just have to spew it onto somebody else. That's not okay.
Yeah. Done with that, thank you.
Yes, and, we've had enough. We've
Yeah.
definitely had enough of that. Okay,
More people should have enough of that.
I hope more people can say, "I've had enough of that."
Yes.
Yep, nope, this isn't good for anybody. Okay, well, I think that's enough about that, Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that.
It's all it's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
You really don't.
As long
Okay,
as it's not that nasty nougaty thing, I'm okay.
the white stuff?
Oh, I hate that stuff too. Oh,
Yeah, that's gross.
I'll take the chocolate and, like, the caramel
There you go. Yeah, and salted caramel.
flavored.
Yeah, like cherry stuff. Ugh,
That doesn't belong in chocolate, I'm
it
sorry.
doesn't.
Does not.
No,
Chocolate is
no.
wonderful. It's wonderful. Leave
It's
it alone.
wonderful in its purest form no, well, it's pure sugarified form.
Exactly. Stop messing with it.
Right, exactly. Let us know what we're biting into too if it's in a box.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. Boy, we are the tangent queens. I'm leaving this in here. Okay. No, no, that's
We're
true.
not gonna be apologetic about it either.
No, this is you and I. God knows where we'll start and where we'll end.
Who knows? It gets crazy when we start talking.
This is real life. Okay, do you wanna do the closing?
Sure.
Thank you.
Once again, Brenda and I would like to thank you guys for joining us on our podcast today. And like we've said in our podcast before, we would love for DMs, text messages, any posts on social media, emails, any questions you want to ask. We are happy to answer anytime. And again, thank you for listening and you hope you have a great day.